YouTube, it's Brad Phillips again. This is the Buffalo, the F2A, 920 millimeters. We just adjusted our elevator so that the linkage was in two more holes. It was in one hole, we skipped and we went to the next one. We're gonna see if that helps this thing to be a little bit less pitchy or pitch sensitive, but it was flying okay on our highest expo setting. We're now on a 30C pack, and yes, the flaperons worked really good. Not sure what order you're gonna see this. I'm gonna go down to safe, throttle cuts off, give it some throttle, and there it is, guys. Beautiful, out of safe. Full disclosure, you don't have to hand launch in safe, but you can. Man, that looks so good. And by the way, I am gonna give you a, it just flies so good. I haven't even really used the elevator yet. Let's tell Ian. If you guys don't know the inside joke, he sold me a sailplane and he said, a well-tuned sailplane doesn't really need an elevator. Which, to be honest with you, he's probably right. Okay, by the way, I just wanna tell you, this elevator correction, oh man, it's really flying good now. Wow, it is so good. It's so precise. It's so easy. And it's all the things it was before, only a little tiny bit improved. And when I say tiny, I mean, I'll be honest, it's a lot better. So you definitely wanna do that thing. It was like a 30-second improvement. Even on the 30C pack, it feels great. Inside out loops still have tons. That's like 40% on the stick going up. And now I'm like 15, 20% up on the stick. You could even go in more for more precision inside. Guys, beautiful. We got some rolling fog coming off of the pond. The sun is kind of killing me right now because I chose not to wear any sunglasses like a moron. So we'll just step back into the shade here. Let's do a stall turn. Sorry, camera crew, I know. Oh, that is so much fun. Lots of rudder authority. The funny thing is, the one place where I feel like, okay, take off flaps now, that you could actually move a hole out would be on the rudder if you want a little bit more rudder authority. Guys, I cannot believe how well the dihedral, and I have full flaperons now, meaning my full landing flaps, it just performs super good. I am so impressed with how well these outboard ailerons are still rolling the aircraft. It doesn't feel wonkadelic at all. I'm just kicking in a little bit more rudder. And because of the dihedral, it's just so easy to control. And the AS3X Plus has it feeling amazing. Now out of the flaps and watch the speed come in. Oh, it is so good, guys. I can't believe how well done this plane is. And look at the roll rate. We've got tons of roll rate, almost comically fast, and yet it's so much fun. By the way, tons of power, easy going. Wish we had some clouds, take off flaps on the way downhill. Tons of elevator authority. And yes, we have a 2230C Smart Pack. This happens to be a Gen 2 pack. You can see those flaperons drooping if you look close. Now out of the flaperons. Sometimes it's hard to tell, is watching for that telltale sign. I passed the trees, the tree of death and destruction. I've lost a number of planes in that tree. Not the least of which was the Grand Tundra 2. I didn't lose it, I got it back out, but it was hilarious and embarrassing all at the same time. Oh man, that was so good. Love it. Try to keep it nice and low here. Oh, by the way, safe, if you haven't seen this or you're seeing this in the opposite order of our flights, what we'll do is we will publish our portion where we make the mechanical adjustment. Now, even in safe with flaperons deployed, takeoff flaps now, you can still coordinate your turns. You can still get the thing to look good in the sky, but it does feel a little bit wonky, a little bit slippery. Like this, look at this, it's kind of slipping, doesn't roll quite as good. You gotta roll in a little bit more aileron. But with these over-control-y planes, safe works really good, especially when you open up the windows like I do. Meaning, you set it to the highest settings possible. Now, we did set up a 5-minute flight timer, and on our 2200 50C pack, I thought, okay, now that's off. Now we're back to AS3X Plus, and we're out of the takeoff flaps. On our 2200 50C pack, we were at like 50% spent when we landed. So we could have easily flown for about 11 or 12 minutes especially if we weren't hard on the throttle the whole flight. I would say 10 minutes is a very safe place to be on 2200 3S. Tons of power. I know some of you are gonna ask, hey, can I fly it on 4S? I don't know, to be honest with you, I hate saying stuff like this, but I don't think you need 4S. The thing has got tons of ups, tons of speed. Guys, watch this. I'll go to a near stall speed and then I'll climb out of it just to show you how good it is on 3S, okay? So near stall speed and then punch. And we're going up, guys. You don't need to go any more power than that. Yeah, I mean, you can, and it's up to you if you want to try to burn out the ESC or whatever. It is rated for 3S. That's what the manufacturer recommends. Of course, this is Durafly. And it's a 40 amp ESC, so I think you'll be pushing it. But there again, we've done many FMS offerings with a 40 amp ESC. On 4S, that would be similar size class, but it depends on the kV of the motor. This is 1200 kV inside out loop at the top. Look how clean it is upside down. With having that dihedral, that AS3X just really helps. AS3X Plus, I should say. Just amazing performance, really fun plane. I think you guys should get this one. Check out links in the video description below so you can buy one for yourself. Inside patch, you good? Mm-hmm. That's a pretty tight spot over there, the bull. For a faster plane, I want to turn on the takeoff flaps now. Gets a little bit more wonkadelic, but it's still very controllable. And then full landing flaps in a banking turn like that, you would not normally do that with flaperons, folks, because what happens is it mutes your flight performance so much that you're just asking for problems. But this thing just does it. I am so impressed with this little guy. It is so much fun. I can't believe how good it is. This one, you know what this one reminds me of? This reminds me of that Chinese trainer that's got the gull wing.
The CJ6?
The CJ6, yeah. That I was like, oh, lame. Oh. But we were like, whatever, we haven't done it yet, let's do it. And then that turned out to be an amazing flying plane too. And I'm just thinking, I wouldn't have picked out a Buffalo in a lineup because I guess I didn't really know about this plane. But I really like it. It's so much fun. It kind of reminds me of the Hellcat a little bit because it's in that area of time frame. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the P-47, but it is definitely not a P-47 or a Hellcat. And the fact that it's a belly lander, it just does really good at everything you want it to do. And it's pretty effortless too, especially if you got an AS3X equipped receiver. I would highly encourage you to use a 630 or 631. We use the 630, we'll show you all the steps. I don't think you need a 637, but if you want to do a 637, go for it. I just think that it would be a little bit overkill. And by the way, I gotta say, I am loving that these planes are coming with rudders that are effective. Because here's the thing, when you don't have all the control surfaces, you're not able to fly them the way they need to fly. And to be honest with you, I was just hearing its big brother up above us, the commercial airliner flying over at like 10,000 feet. And it made me think, I wonder if I can prop hang this. Guys, I can prop hang the thing. It gets a little aggressively fails. That is crazy, I can't believe it. So if you guys want a very fun sport flyer that also looks really scale, look no further than the F2A Buffalo. This plane is great. I am loving it. I want to keep flying, but the camera crew's got some business to tend to, and you guys will be able to see the other flight as well. We are a little bit over our timer, so what we're going to do is we're going to just bring it in for a nice uneventful landing. And as you can see, it does fine as a belly lander. Flaps are out. Takeoff flaps deployed, takeoff flaps retracted, and we're 3 minutes 54 over 5, so about 8.5 minutes of flight time. And just amazing performance, folks. I am super impressed with this. You know, and it's funny, you can always tell when I really enjoy a plane. I hope you can. This thing is great, okay? We've had a lot of planes we've done over the last few years. Admittedly, there should have been more, but a lot of things got screwed up by the tariff battles and stuff and just put on hold, and people weren't sure exactly what to do, and it was very expensive to bring things in. But man, I think 2026 is gonna be a good year because all those things that were stuck and constipated in the chain of command or whatever it is that's going on, this year is gonna be great. So I'm just telling you, you better save your pennies and dimes, nickels, and $100 bills because at the end of the day, I think there's gonna be some amazing products coming out. This is on the short list, guys. Get one. It is really good, really well done. And we're gonna show what we did to make that elevator a little bit muted because then I was able to fly on 10% expo with 100% rates, which is my middle setting on the F switch, the way we normally set it up. If you guys are familiar with my normal rates and expo setup, that's kind of my median point. Now, if you find that you want a little bit more, you could go in one more hole and I think you would have enough, but you might be kind of riding the line of losing some of that agility that you want in slow flight speeds. Also, the flaperons were ultra effective. We added one additional extension cord. Well, we added two, but you could use the provided Y cable for one, and then you could either build an end on the other half, chop it off and build another end, or you can just buy another extension cord. It's like a 20 or 30 millimeter length.
It's pretty short.
It was short. So if you have another Y cable from another plane that you pulled off to put flaperons, you could use that Y cable, it'll be fine. And then you can see where we mounted our receiver. Check out the unbox build radio setup. We'll go through all the details. Just so you know where my battery is slammed, almost all the way up to the front. And yes, it does CG out. We were gonna use a short Hobby King pack, a Turnigy 2200 30C pack. They want 20 to 50 Cs in this, and the 30C seemed to do fine. But ours was too short. We didn't have any way to get the strap to hold on to it. Yeah. So we went with this longer battery. It was also a little bit heavier to get the CG right. And it balances on these CG points. It's only a 5 millimeter range, as you can see here. It's very small. On the back hole, it's nose heavy. On the front hole, it's tail heavy. So that means right in the middle. We're right in the middle of the range, which is great. So get that battery up forward. If you're using a little bit higher C pack or a little bit heavier pack, which you could probably do a little bigger than 2200 if you wanted, this thing will handle the weight. Then just make sure you really play with it to get the CG right so you don't lose your elevator authority. Okay, so really, really good job, guys. Check it out. Right now, links in the video description below. If you want to support us in other ways, Patreon for monthly support, or you can do YouTube members. And then we also have one-time donations through YouTube Super Thanks and then PayPal, all of which are always accepted here on Brian Phillips RC. But really, we'd rather you just buy a plane, enjoy the plane, let them send a few bucks to us in commission, and then everybody wins. When they're good, it is so easy to influence people to buy things, okay? It is so easy to recommend these things. But man, when stuff sucks, it's not fun, guys. You feel bad. You feel like you're cheating partners that you really care about. But man, Hobby King used to make project planes is what we called them, where you had to just like do to get the thing to fly well. Oh my goodness. It is like night and day different. Not only do the builds go smoother, but the quality of the foam is better. They're denser. They're more bolted together, less glued together. And even when they're glued together, they fit better. There have been a few that are a little bit stinky on the steps, but I'll tell you this, they are really coming up in the ranks, and that is great. We love to see that because at the end of the day, we love this hobby. It's not just for show. Otherwise, we wouldn't be blowing all the money we earn and then about 50 times more on this amazing aerodrome that we're trying to build here. So we hope you guys enjoy following along, seeing the progress there. But while we're doing it, we're gonna enjoy a lot of RC along the way, okay? So stay tuned, so much more from Brian Phillips RC. We'll show you that mod quick. I don't know if that's gonna follow right after this or if we're just gonna go straight into the second flight and then you can see that mod right at the very end of the video. That's probably what we'll do, right?
Probably so.
Okay.
Yep.
So guys, thanks so much for watching. We really appreciate you being here and being part of Brian Phillips RC. If you're brand new, you're in the right place. We'll get you out of the chair, in the air, by telling the full truth, nothing but the truth. So help us God. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. So much more coming right now. YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. Something all new, the F2A. We're calling it the Buffalo. They have a couple of different Brewster and different names. I'm not sure exactly what to call it other than it is called the Buffalo. And it is actually a V2 from Hobby King. This is a Durafly model. And we are super excited to be bringing it to you first here on Brian Phillips RC. And it is beautiful. Went together relatively easy, a little bit more steps than we were hoping for. It is a belly lander and a hand launch. You've got nice handles here. It is set up as a 4-channel but we set ours up as a 5-channel so we can do flapper-ons. Just keep in mind, flapper-ons might not work as good as spoiler-ons on this application. We never really know until we know. Throttle cuts off. Look at that beautiful silver spinner and silver prop. Simulated motor, nice plastic here. And without further ado, I'm gonna go to safe and I'm gonna hand launch this way. Full disclosure, I did not turn on hand launch assist, but I could have turned it on with the flip of a switch in forward programming. Forward thrust. And there it is, guys. In safe. Look how good that is. No trim, no nothing. Wow, that is really good. Okay, so here we go. Okay, now I'm in AS3X Plus. Remember, we've got gains to adjust. Oh man, this thing flies so good. It's so simple and so perfect. The dihedral on the wing just makes it a daydream. It's so easy to fly. I need to trim it down, but I just don't want to screw with it because it's so perfect. It's just flying itself. This is so weird, guys. I'm like hands off the sticks. Look at this. I'm in AS3X Plus. Couple clicks of trim. We'll get away from those trees. Whoa, I thought maybe I was gonna do that. Okay, a little bit more throttle. Let's get that thing leaning forward. There we go. A little bit more, a little bit more. Gonna turn, there it goes. Okay, great. So now on 3S 2200 50C pack, we did try using a Turnigy pack, but we found that it was insufficient to get the center of gravity where we wanted. And so ultimately ended up stuffing this lengthwise quite a bit further up. There is a strap that has 2 slots and you're allowed to actually move it down the length of the plane. Man, that looks so good. It flies really nice, guys. I didn't know what to think. I had no idea. We never got the V1. Didn't even know it existed. Oh, blue skies. Sorry, focus. Because you may not be aware that when it is blue, it is hard to film. But boy, those bright, opaque paint job on the wings. I don't think there's a spot on this plane that isn't painted or decaled. Now, you don't have to add any of the decals, but you do have to put the control linkages on, or you at least have to terminate them, which is annoying. I understand why they did it after we built it, and that is because obviously when you're dealing with a Hobby King plug-and fly plane, you do have to set up the aileron servos, and so it's pretty hard for them to leave those unpocket protected if they expect you to do stuff like that, okay? Now, full disclosure, I am not a big fan of measuring throws, but man, oh man, with the AS3X Plus and this nice calm, dense air day, we've got that flag all the way down, coming on the heels of basically terrible weather. This is joyous for us RC enthusiasts. Talking about the tiniest little clouds over there. Hopefully that helps. I can tell you this, our rates are way more than we need. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go to the 90% with 20% expo, which I almost never go to, but boy, oh boy, that is really making that elevator feel good. Also, by the way, if you have a plane that tends toward tail heavy and you want it to feel a little bit more overstable, then all you have to do is either get that battery back to the nose a little bit more, which you can actually slide it forward now that we configured it the way we did. We had to put the aileron cables out the side, and we did have to also extend them so that we could reach because of the flapper-on configuration. Again, if you're using the provided Y cable, that'll be no problem. But that really helped with the reach to get back to where we had to mount the receiver, which was kind of right next to the elevator and the rudder servo. So if you guys aren't used to watching Brian Phillips RC unbox build radio setups, look at the fog rolling off the pond, so gorgeous, then you might want to consider checking out one of our unbox build radio setups and see if you can glean a little bit of value out of that. I'll try to stand right with you so we have 1 shadow instead of 2. 1 minute left on our 5-minute timer. We do not have telemetry on this model, and so we're going to tend to be a little bit careful on our time spent. This is a smart pack. We would ordinarily use one of the short 2200s. Oh man, almost had a bird strike. Man, yesterday we had like 500 sparrows or something that landed over here where I'm flying over. It was so cool. Okay, now takeoff flaps. Oh boy, it's working really nice. Now landing flaps, so good. I can't believe it's actually working well. Flaperons never seem to work when they're that far outboard. But look how much it's slowed down. Guys, I can't believe how good it's doing. And yes, it's giving me my countdown on 5-minute timer. Of course, we start it with a 25% throttle out. Let's do an inside pass here. With the flaperons down, guys, look at this. Absolutely gorgeous. Sorry, I knew that was gonna blind you. Out of the flaps. So we got everything pretty dang good on this setup. The only thing I can tell you is that we did not need near as much elevator. It's like 25% elevator on that upside down loop. Watch this, guys. This is about 10 to 15% elevator. So I am finding that I am really having to be reserved with my inputs, which is ironic because the last plane we did, I had to really throw the sticks to get the thing to do the stuff that I wanted. And it was a big bird, okay? This is not a huge bird. It's 920 millimeters. It feels like it weighs virtually nothing, but man, it is fun to fly. Really great flying plane, guys. Okay, now safe. As you can see, safe does work on this. I already hand launched it for you, so I feel like I already demonstrated it. So just on the sticks, you'll notice a little bit of overcorrection. Of course, you could tweak back by going to adjustable rates on safe, but it's just rock solid, guys. Look at this. And yes, you have tons of throw, and you just have to move the sticks a little bit further, which does kind of help with the over-exaggerated control outputs, okay? I am losing power, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get out of safe. Camera crew's gonna move back a little bit. Right there, good, very good. Now take off flaps. I'm just at 25% throttle, you know, full landing flaps, keeping a little bit of power on, and then out of throttle, and just plop it down. Okay, flaperons are off. Guys, super impressed. That was way better than I expected. And to be honest with you, my expectations were nowhere on this model. First of all, it kind of came out of the blue for us. We weren't expecting it. It happened really quick, and then it showed up on our doorstep faster than expected, okay? One thing I can tell you about Hobby King offerings is that if you want one, you better order it, okay? These things go off the shelves, and then they're not real great about getting them back in stock, okay? So if you want this thing, get it today. It's not a limited time run like the L39 we did here a few months ago, but it is definitely gonna sell out because this thing flies great. It is a really good flying plane, really fun, easy to launch, easy to see. I love the visibility. That opaque yellow makes up for the fact that there are no LEDs. A little bit annoying, but at the same time, I can forgive it given that it's a cheaper model, okay? It is sub 1,000 millimeters, but it flies equally as good as some of the 12 and 1,300 millimeter warbirds we've seen in the past. Of course, there's less complexity because of a lack of landing gear. They would normally be an inboard gear that comes out like this. But man, oh man, the thing flies excellent. I am super happy with this model. And you guys may not realize this here on Brian Phillips RC because you just assume, you know, we want to sell them and all that. And yes, of course we want to sell them. But the truth is, when they work good, it makes our day because we put a lot of effort into these videos. We put a lot of effort into the relationships that we build with these different companies. And when things get delivered and they suck, man, it breaks our heart to have to bash a product because at the end of the day, we want more of them, not less.
Yeah.
And if you want to complain and say how bad stuff is, you tend to get less of it because you basically, the businesses are going to go kaput, okay? These planes are good if I say they're good, or at least I like them. And we do try to keep them in the sphere of price point and feature set. But man, paired up with the AR631, the way we set ours up, this thing is golden. And you see how far up our battery is? We may even be slightly nose heavy, okay? So I'm just gonna show you the two dots here represent the center of gravity. Watch this, guys. On the back hole, it's neutral. On the front hole, it's tail heavy. So to be honest with you, this plane might fly even better if I slid that forward just a hair, and I can now. Only because we moved the aileron cables under the board and over and back, okay? We wouldn't have been able to do that without extending them, given that we're doing flaperons that surprisingly worked near perfect, okay? So really happy with the flaperons, Really happy with the pairing of the AS3X Plus. It worked really good. The safe worked great on this. I didn't even try the offsetting, but I gotta tell you something. This model actually did go together pretty good. There's a whole bag of bags, and they say it's quick build or something like that. Yeah, I don't know if I would say that, but it is easy. You have to glue the tail in, so get yourself some China glue. If you don't know where to get China glue, head over to brianphillipsrc.com, or you can just type bprc.me, press enter, or you can do /supplies. And then we have supplies, and we will include lists on where you can get China glue, and there's a couple of them there. If you're buying the receiver, you can buy the glue while you're there. It's a little bit different. It's called foam to foam, works fine, but the China glue from FMS is really solid. We enjoy that. And then of course there's other offerings. Hobby King offers a few different CAs. We did use a couple drips of CA to hold our extension cables on, but I don't prefer to use CA to hold the wing joiners to get like this, and this have to be glued on. If you're using CA, it tends to be a little bit more brittle, and it doesn't seem to hold up quite the same. That being said, it will work. Just use medium and make sure that it's gap filling. So medium gap filling CA. So if you're using BSI Industries, which I believe Hobby King offers, then you should be getting the purple cap if you want the non-foam safe, or the black cap if you want low odor foam safe. This doesn't seem to care, okay? By the way, also beautiful finish. The silver is gorgeous. These covers don't come installed. You have to do that. You have to put the linkages on. You have to do that. A lot of little steps, but they're really not that big a deal for the average RC enthusiast. First time qualities on this plane, if you're a first time flyer, it's easy to build-ish, but I will argue a couple of things. Plug and fly planes tend to be a little bit harder for brand new pilots. That's why we do the Unbox Build radio setup. Now, if you have to go step by step with me, don't take anything in offense from that, because if it gets you flying, that's what you need to do, okay? If you haven't been flying forever and you need to go step by step just to get it in the air, that's fine too. Just remember, 15 years ago, things were a lot different. 20 years ago, things were a lot different. We'll help get you up to speed. That's what we do on Brian Phillips RC. And all you have to do is ask anybody who's been watching for a few years. We help people get out of a hole, and that is the hole that is not flying into the joyous experience of flying, okay? It is hard to start. It is even harder to start from scratch, but it's near impossible without help. We'll help you, okay? That's what we do. We've been doing it for like 10 plus years now on YouTube, thousands of videos. By the way, Brian Phillips RC is a resource for anybody who's looking for different RC products. If this doesn't trip your trigger, which by the way, I don't know how it couldn't, because it is absolutely fantastic in the air. I want to fly it more, but I got to go to work and stuff, which sucks. But this thing is really well done. Good job, Hobby King. Good job, Durafly. We are really being impressed. It's light on its feet. It looks amazing. The silver and yellow pop. The decals are not distracting. Even upside down, I feel like we got good visibility. And boy, oh boy, it looks good in the air. It feels good in the air. Paired up with the Spectrum setup, I love it, okay? Now, if you want to use a Turnigy pack, just remember, use the longer Turnigy pack, not the shorty ones.
Yep.
You might be able to put a shorty and turn it sideways in here. We didn't try that yet, but the problem is the ESC leads are only so long, and they go up to the top and then go into the motor. So we didn't find that would probably work for most people. It might work for you. If you get lucky and you can get it to go for it. But the idea is you're gonna need that weight forward on the airplane. And a 50C pack was a little bit heavier, so we went with that Spectrum 2200 50C and pushed it forward. Now, just to show you, we were about a minute over our time. We still have a little bit of power, but watch how fast it declines. 8, 9, 10, you can hear it starting to slow down. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, well then of course it's gonna make a fool of me, but I've let it relax for quite a while. The other thing too is because we have so much throw, we have to be a little bit careful on our outputs. We could actually reduce the rates and have a little bit more tenable flight performance. I almost feel like you could get like an 85%, or maybe even 70% with like a 10% expo would be really nice on this, given that you're on the outermost hole and the only hole, and the only hole, and the only hole. These already come hooked up to the servos, so we did not have to do that portion.
Right.
So they're in the outside hole and the outside hole. The other thing you could do is on the elevator, it looks like it's not on the outside hole. Looks like the rudder is on the second one in. This could be dismantled and you could move that in 1 or 2 holes and you would have less overall throw on the elevator, and it would probably mix together nicely without a lot of other electronic adjustments, okay? And then you could maybe start with your middle expo and rate setting, make it feel nice. By the way, that's fairly easy to do, and you're like, how do you undo that when you just undo this screw, pull it off the spline position with your receiver on, and then just slide it in 2 holes when it's off of there, and then push it back down on the spline in the same position, and then tighten the screw, and you're golden. So lots of things to consider, or you can just leave it a little bit more touchy. Having a plane that has more throw than I need is better than having a plane that has less throw than I need. But there is a point where you overfill your cup and you're spilling on the ground. This one's probably just a hair over, and that's why I put my controls, my dual rates in expo down to 90% with 20% expo. I'd rather ride at probably 80% throws and 10% expo on this particular plane if you leave it all mechanically the way it comes out of the box, okay? Also, a little bit of binding. I think this servo likes to hit the front of this plasticky thing, because I didn't notice that when we were doing our unbox before I glued it down. After I glued it down, I noticed a little bit of a whack once in a while. Hear it? I think it's actually just hitting inside, okay? So lots of really good things. Not a perfect model, but there's very rare perfect models. But I will tell you this, you can make it darn near perfect. You don't have to spend a ton of money. I did add 1 extension cord, okay? So you could put your Y cable on there and you could omit the flaperons and you could run this on a 4-channel, but you're gonna lose stabilization, okay? Unless you're using a leftover reflex or a vector from an Aeros product, or if you've got some sort of Hobby King orange offering or something like that. Whatever you choose to do, do it, because this plane is really fun. Check it out. Links are in the video description below. One of the best ways to support Brian Phillips RC, get us paid back for our hard-earned efforts here, would be to buy the planes when you like them. Buy the batteries when you like them, receivers, transmitters, whatever it is we happen to be reviewing when you like them, okay? If you don't like them, check out Brian Phillips RC, find something you do like, and then buy that from the links in the video description, or right there from the link that says buy or plane or something like that on our website, right? What does it say?
Or shop.
Shop, yep. Or something like that. Either way, the point is this. When you support us by buying what you're already gonna buy, we earn small commissions from the partners that we work with. Now, make no mistake, that doesn't stop us from giving you a bad report. We do it all the time. And the truth is, we wish we never had to. Like I said, we're always super encouraged when we have a plane that comes out from a manufacturer that used to make project planes, and now they're really good. And they have been really good. We've had a couple that are harder to build than we wanted, but we've had good results with virtually everyone. We were not crazy about 1 or 2 of them, but we've been really happy with the vast majority. And by the way, even those ones were okay. It's just that maybe our environment was bad at the time.
And some of it is just personal preference on style of planes that you like. So.
Yeah, that's right. Totally true. So other ways to support Brian Phillips RC. If you guys are brand new to the YouTube audience and you've found a lot of value here and you want to stay and you want to encourage us, there's YouTube members. You can be a member and help support us in that way. We got a few hundred of those people. Thanks for being members. It's a monthly support model, a couple of bucks a month or 20 bucks or whatever it is that works for you. And then we have YouTube Super Thanks for one-time donations, as well as Patreon, which is a monthly model as well. And then we have PayPal if you don't want to give a bunch of fees to YouTube. YouTube's like 30%. PayPal's like 18%. Unless you're overseas, then it's higher. And by the way, if you're overseas and you notice that there's no content, no value added on Patreon, we do that on purpose, because otherwise you'd have to pay a VAT tax on that, and then they just rape you for more money, which is not cool, and we don't like that. So basically the value you're gonna get is always free unless you guys want to help encourage us, and that's cool. We try to do that in a way that's very honest and transparent. At the end of the day, that's not really where we're at. We just wanna have those things available for people. We bucked it for 7 years, and I said, no, I don't wanna beg for money. That's not what we're really trying to do here. What we're trying to do is grow a hobby that we love. That's why we're building this aerodrome. We're not building this aerodrome because we hate the hobby. We're not building this aerodrome because we want money. Believe me, if we wanted money, we would not be doing this. We'd be saving it. What we're doing is we're trying to extract the value that we do bring and we're trying to roll it right back into the hobby in big ways. And it's very fun to do it, but it's also very challenging. And so we appreciate all you guys that are buying from the links. It makes our day. It helps fund some of this stuff, some of it. Probably about 10% right now, maybe a little bit closer to 5 to 8% right now. But at the end of the day, maybe when this is all said and done, we go back and show the bookwork, but I'll tell you what, it's painful. It's painful. You don't even want to know the numbers. But at the end of the day, I love this hobby so much that we do big things that are idiotic, okay? Because it's awesome, okay? You don't have to do big idiotic things, but you can buy this plane, and that would not be idiotic at all, okay? Links in the video description below. Great plane. Good job, Hobby King. Thanks for working with Brian Phillips RC. By the way, got some geese. They were just giving their approval. They're gonna fly around and land on the pond, and it's cool. I'm watching them. They've got these new lines they're flying, and there was 2 of them. We had ice yesterday, and when they got down and saw the ice, they were like, nope. And they rejected the landing. It was hilarious. But boy, guys, we love this hobby, and we hope you will too. If you're sitting on the fence, one of the best things we do is we try to get people out of the chair and into the air by trying to stop one and dones. It is so easy to get a plane like this, crash it and quit. Probably not this plane. This is a good plane. I don't think you would crash it and quit. I think you would crash it and go pick it up and hot glue it together and then keep flying. And that's what a lot of people do. Believe me, your first plane is gonna be half glue. Just get ready for it, okay? Unless you're some freak of nature and you've been flying simulators for 5 years or something like that, you're gonna have a lot of crashes. That's part of the game, okay? You'll love it. It's harder than I can express, and it's easier than it's ever been in the history of time to learn. We'll get you there. Stay tuned. So much more from Brian Phillips RC. Thanks for watching. So I figured I would show you this adjustment I'm gonna make because this might be a really helpful one. Obviously, first the thing is the throttle cuts on. Okay, we're gonna take, this is the elevator, so move the elevator. You can see it's moving. So I'm just gonna show you, I was explaining this verbally, and so not 100% sure how this is gonna manifest in the video, but I wanna soften up the elevator just a wee bit. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this up. You can tell that it's nice and square, so it should be pretty easy. I'm gonna lay that screw down carefully so it doesn't pop off the counter. And then I'm gonna grab myself a really long screwdriver that's flat so I can get in here and pry. Yep. And then I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna roll this so that it pops off. Oh, it's 1 hole in as well. Okay, so I'm gonna go out like that and then off. Probably grab a pair of needle nose pliers. Help me hang on to this so I can pull hard on it. Okay. So now we're gonna go into, let's go in 2 holes and see if we have enough. Because I just feel like I'm shortchanging you a little bit in that I didn't show this change. I wanna see if it works as good as I claim it's gonna work. I mean, I know from experience it should work, but I don't want you guys to have to just trust me on faith, okay? I wanna prove it to you. Look at the elevator this way. Nice and square still. We might have a couple of clicks of trim, but so push that back on, and then you can grab that black screw that pulled out. I'm using, this happens to be a 3mm drive, so it'd be about a Phillips 0.75 or a Phillips 1. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to screw this in. Now these are, don't overdo it, and you sometimes need to brace the servo so you don't strip the dang thing out. Now, move the elevator a couple of times. You notice it's gonna move a little bit less. And then honestly, the elevator is not the only thing that you'd wanna change if you wanna get this thing to really lock in its performance. But I like the way that it flew with the 2250C. What we're gonna do is we'll show a 2230C next. And so I undid the Velcro, and full disclosure, I put 1 more piece of shelf liner in there. And then let's show the people real quick on the smart charger quick. See this? Watch, I'm gonna plug this in, just show you how much we spent on that battery. So as we plug it in, it's gonna get ready to charge. It's gonna initiate, and then once it initiates, I'm gonna let it go. Look at that, we're at 46%, so we could have flown for a little bit longer. I don't know why I was nervous. Okay, so we're gonna take this battery, which is a Gen 2, but it's a 30C. We'll go ahead and push this in here. It's a little bit lighter pack, so I'm gonna push it forward just pretty much all the way. And remember, the more nose heavy this plane is, the more elevator you're gonna need to make it feel right, okay? And then this can slide most of the way forward, but remember, there are plugs that are gonna get pulled forward. So when you put yours together, try to get behind the strap if you can, so you can move that strap forward and you might experience a little bit better results. Also, I've noticed that this little piece of metal doesn't like to drop down very well. And so once you kind of get a memory into there, it'll be a little bit easier, but we run into this a lot on brand new planes. This strap is so strong that sometimes it'll fight you a little bit, and it's gonna start marring this finish as you flip that around. It's the hard part of the hook and loop, okay? So now, once I've got that strapped, I can slide that forward just a wee bit, and I've got enough resistance because of the shelf liner trick, which does work really good. So, so if you guys wanna copy that, that's a really easy thing to do. Okay, throttle cut's on, I'm clearing my timer. We're gonna plug this back in, and then we'll probably see you back outside. So let's show you how this works. XT60 to IC3 is a perfect fit. Well, not a perfect fit, it's an imperfect fit, but it does work, okay? And then remember, with AS3X and Safe or similar offerings, you wanna make sure that your plane is nice and level so it can initiate. You're gonna see 2 dances. Okay, all right, very good. Now look at this. See the wires? You can tuck them right there. It works really nice. And so, the only thing I would say is that if you did the 630 with the end pins, you would have pins that were coming out here, and they might interfere with your ability to slide the battery in, but it might also make it a little easier to slide the battery in. Just depends on how you're sliding your battery in. If your strap is way back here, it's gonna be hard. If your strap is up here, it's gonna be easier, okay? All right, we'll see you outside. YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. Look at this, all new from Durafly. It's the F2A Buffalo. It is a new plane that we've never done before. It's actually a V2 for them, and it is just a belly launch, a hand launch, belly land. We set ours up with flaperons using an AR631, and it worked pretty good. You could use a 630 as well, it'd be fine. And we are flying on 2200 3S 50C pack. Throttle cuts off. Full disclosure, throttle cuts on actually. I wanna show you one thing. Not sure if you're gonna see it in these videos, but there is a hole right there that I have darkened. That's where the linkage was for the elevator. I moved it over 2. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4 in from the end, or 3 in from the center out, okay? Makes a big difference on the touchiness on the elevator. We will show that, and I believe there's 2 bald eagles flying right there.
Oh, cool.
That is so cool. So without further ado, we're gonna launch right now. There is hand launch assist on this. I'm gonna turn on safe, and I'm gonna give it throttle. I didn't turn it on because you don't need it. It's that simple. Out of safe. So now one thing that's so cool about this plane is the visibility is amazing. That yellow finish is glorious. Did you see the goose? Oh, geez.
There's more.
Look at that. Holy crap. Is that 3 of them?
Those are vultures.
Those are vultures, yeah. I just didn't want to interfere with them. Actually trying to watch the vultures. Now takeoff flaps. Now landing flaps. You know what's crazy about this plane is just how stinking good the flaperons work. I thought they would work terrible. And I must say, I've noticed quite a bit of elevator trimming that I didn't notice before. And that is because I must have pushed my battery in the hole a little bit tighter. Really good flying plane. Look at those ducks. So cool. Guys, we're getting all sorts of wildlife in, finding refuge from their long trip from Winterville right here to where we live. And beautiful, 50% pass there out of the takeoff flaps and then straight up. This plane is super fun. It is a joy to fly. It gets around really speedy for being a 3S power system. And if you guys are brand new to Brian Phillips RC, we will show you in exhaustive detail exactly what it takes to set it up. So if you're into the belly launch, hand launch, belly land type of planes, this plane is definitely one to consider. I really have enjoyed flying it. This is actually our 3rd flight, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So much fun. We don't usually fly from this spot, but we were just trying to hit a different angle so you guys could enjoy something a little bit different here on Brian Phillips RC. We try to mix it up a little bit. especially around that tree. That is, of course, the eagle killing zone and the elusive fox killing zone. So I figured it'd be a good idea to fly the plane right next to it. And yes, the damn runway is actually over there. We're flying over the bull. And there was a de Havilland, is a vampire killing zone right behind where I just flew from. And actually, we might be doing another one here pretty quick. So super excited to bring that to you here on Brian Phillips RC. We'll do loop up and right back down the runway. Look how speedy Gonzalez that is. A little bit of rudder correction. And just look at that thing. Absolutely gorgeous. Really fun to fly this plane. Agile as you wouldn't expect. Now, I will tell you something. On 3S, the 50C definitely pops way more. Up and over. Switch my physical position there, camera crew. So much fun. I'm always afraid I'm gonna hit the flagpole when I do that because I'm not used to flying from this spot. I've only hit that flagpole once, and it was with the, what's that? Was it an extra?
Was that the extra NG?
Yeah. Look at the tumble and then out of it like nothing. AS3X Plus has this thing locked in. Look, inside out loops. Even with that high dihedral, it just doesn't care. It does exactly what you tell it, or safe. Even with safe, it's gonna auto level. Takeoff flaps now, I can slow it down nicely. It kind of keeps it a little bit flat for my taste, but that's okay. You can kick in a little bit more aileron and rudder, and you can get around just fine. Now watch this, even with the landing flaps, folks. Look how easy it is to control. It just does exactly what you want, and it doesn't get all wonkadelic, which is nuts. Normally when you have a flapper on, especially a super outboard flapper on like that, it's gonna fly wonkadelic. Now out of the flapper-ons, a little bit of throttle, and then into AS3X Plus. You're gonna get about 10 minutes of flight time, plus or minus a little bit. I would suggest probably a little bit more, like 12 on most newer 2200 3Ss. I am currently flying a relatively new pack here, so getting 12 minutes would not be hard to do, but I'm also not pushing it like crazy person. Although, to be honest with you, I must say, I'm loving flying this plane. Inside out loop. Man, I just can't believe how good and symmetrical the flight envelope is. Man, I had a bug just get on my elbow and I about bit it into that tree. It is funny, we go from like blizzard to bugs.
Mosquitoes.
Did you hear that? That was cool. So here on Brian Phillips RC, we try to share the full truth, nothing but the truth, so help us God. And yes, that does include sometimes our opinions. My opinion is that you're gonna love this plane, and so you should get one from the links in the video description below. Best way to support Brian Phillips RC, of course, is watch the videos, click the bell for notifications when you subscribe. And then when you wanna buy something that looks like we actually had a good time with it, and it was a good plane, helicopter, quad, VTOL, leaf blower, whatever it is, check out the links in the video description below. I will definitely encourage you on this plane. Get it, it's fun, it's good. Takeoff flaps now. And it does all the stuff you want a belly lander to do. The only thing it doesn't do is have some nice LEDs on the wingtips. But to be honest with you, it's cheap, so we can kind of let them get away with it on some of the cheaper planes. Do you know what I was doing there? I was walking away from bugs.
Oh.
So folks, here on Brian Phillips RC, you may not be aware, but occasionally there is a mosquito going behind the camera crew, and I just got it before it attacked my wife. And wonderful camera crew, 3 steps back, please. I'm gonna go down the runway, you're good. Takeoff flaps, now landing flaps. Look at this, guys. Look at this beautiful flight performance here. It's just amazing. No problem, super easy to fly into the takeoff flaps. Now landing flaps, out of the flaps altogether, and then right back down. Look how rock solid that is. Even when you jank it, it just recovers almost instantly. Almost no overcorrection on stabilization, and beautiful ups, beautiful downs, and beautiful everything in between. I am really in love with the way this plane is flying. Super excited for the good things we've been seeing. coming from Hobby King. And the truth is, I used to fly Hobby King stuff when I first got into the hobby, and they were admittedly project planes, okay? Project planes, the definition is a plane that needs a project to make it into a plane that you expected it to be out of the box, okay? That's kind of the loose definition. Is that about right?
That's all right.
And we have done that a lot with Hobby King planes over the years. But not with this one. It was a little bit more work than it could have been because some of the linkages could have been installed from the factory, and that was a little bit annoying. Check out the unbox build radio setup if you want to see the full exhaustive build. We also show the radio setup where we set up our AS3X safe, and we did have to recalibrate the throttle because the prop started spinning with throttle cut on, and you guys will learn how to address that should you run into a circumstance where that happens to you. Is a big safety concern. We rarely have it happen, and we showed exactly how to resolve it so that our throttle cut works and the plane doesn't try to chop my fingers off when I go to fly it, okay? Here on Brian Phillips RC, we understand a lot of you are brand new to the hobby, just returning to the hobby, or maybe interested in considering getting in the hobby. If you're interested and still waiting, what are you waiting for, guys? There is not going to be anything more clear than watching a beautiful flight, something like this, to talk you into it. So if you're waiting for a message from above, take the message from above on your screen right in front of you right now from Brian Phillips RC. Go get an airplane and do it. Do it now. It doesn't have to be this one. Honestly, this would probably not be the one I would recommend to a brand new pilot, although it's not like the worst one you could do. And I'll be honest with you, there have been planes that have been sold as beginner planes that have sucked bad as beginner planes. We'll tell you the full truth here on this channel because we don't really care which plane you get. We work with enough of these manufacturers. We do want you to buy planes. Obviously, we earn some commissions when you buy them from our links. That's how we fund a lot of this channel and the stuff we do on it. But at the end of the day, we want you to get the right thing because that helps to propagate a hobby that's healthy, a hobby that's thriving. Because at the end of the day, I love these planes just as much as you love watching them, buying them, and enjoying them yourself. It's not just vicariously through Brian Phillips RC. I want you to be living the dream with us, okay? If you haven't picked up on that, you're not paying attention. Truth is, I love this hobby and I love this audience. This audience has given us opportunities that I couldn't have earned on my own. And so we really appreciate you guys being part of Brian Phillips RC. If you guys have comments, questions, leave them in the comments below. We'll do our best to address them. Hopefully get back to you soon enough that you can make decisions. But if you can't, watch the video. I'll probably answer most of the questions. This and the unbox build radio setup. One thing I can answer is, why do we get a blizzard and then mosquitoes? I cannot answer that. Okay, so takeoff flaps now. Now some landing flaps. We'll keep G loaded onto the wing. We'll see if we can slow it down in time. I don't know if we will in time. We might not get it this time. Out of the throttle. There it is. Beautiful. Throttle cuts on. And we are at 1 minute and 9 past 10. So that'd be 11 minutes, 8. Look at those pilots. That is so dang cool when they do that cool takeoff path. By the way, that's the line I fly with the Catalina, except I don't turn like that because that would be a freakish turn and I wouldn't be able to see what was going on. Because when we fly down in the bowl of the pond, I have to fly up there and I go way out, I come back and it's just a gorgeous line. I love it. It's so much fun. By the way, if you guys are looking for a fun float plane, the Catalina is awesome. It's not near as well done as this, but it's awesome and I love it. So if you guys haven't experienced the Catalina, then just do that thing. By the way, Brian Phillips RC is a resource that you can use at any time you want, regardless of new releases, regardless of re-releases, regardless of what's going on the most current stuff on Brian Phillips RC. What you can do is you can go over there, you can sort by type, and we've tried to clean up the page a little bit to make it easier for you to get there, find what you need, and get out, okay? Because we're just like you. We're busy, we're spread thin, we're pulled in 50 different directions, and we want to get the answers to our questions. So the best way you can do it is you can sort by type by just going to bprc.me, and right on the homepage, you can go right to the type you want, or you can click up at the top, we have a supplies tab, and you can find the stuff that you're looking for. And that's a resource that's largely been propagated, like 99.99% of the time, by the camera crew, and I have just gone in and complained about things that didn't work.
Yes.
So as you can see, beautiful plane, good size, opaque paint, beautiful colors, high visibility, easy to fly, solid performance, everything out of the box you need except for the receiver and battery. Complaints: no LEDs. Center of gravity was difficult to attain without doing some shenanigans to get the wires through, okay? We will elaborate that on the Unbox Build radio setup. We did extend one cable beyond what would have come out of the package, and that was a Y cable was provided so that you could do a regular Y cable operations for the ailerons, but we decided we'd split that out and do like a 20 or 30 millimeter extension on both sides. So you could use the Y cable and then you could just supplement it with one, or just use another Y cable you got lying around if you don't have a straight cable that's that short, okay? That got us back to where we could put the receiver where it fit. And so if you're curious to see how all that unfolded, check out the Unbox Build radio setup. And if you're brand new to Brian Phillips RC, the way we do this is we get a new plane in from manufacturer, we unbox it, we build it, and then we do radio setup so it's ready to fly. And simultaneously, we're releasing the flight video. So you may see the flight, but that's already there for you, ready to rock and roll. There has been probably one or two exceptions over the entire history of our YouTube channel where we couldn't get that done in time, or maybe a Maiden got released slightly later. Just depends on how things unfold chronologically for us, if we have a weather event that prevents us from being able to film. But at the end of the day, we do that for a reason, because we understand who we answer to, and that is you, and not necessarily the manufacturers that want us to sell their stuff, okay? Obviously, we want to help sell their stuff because we can make a buck doing it, and we love this hobby. We want to see it propagated. We want to see more of these amazing RC aircrafts. And I can tell you this is a really good example of what can be done if the manufacturers listen and do what we ask them. And this is a great product. It is well done. It's built well. It's a relatively easy build. It's got tons of power. Like I said, a couple of really small problems would be just plan on moving that out a little bit. Or in rather, a little bit. That'll help a lot with the touchiness of the elevator, or run a little bit lower rates. Either way, you're gonna get a similar outcome. The other thing is, make sure you test your CG. It's only got a 5 millimeter range. The 50C2200 smart battery that we're using, pushed all the way forward, is too far forward. You gotta go back just a hair, okay? Also, we added shelf liner. And just look at the finish on this. We've got this nice dark blue here. It's hard plastic, strong plastic where it's gonna matter. And then we have plastic under here, right here, and then right here. And you'll notice when you come into land, it likes to kind of hump the ground and then drop down the nose. And I know some of you that are brand new to the hobby might be wondering, how does this not destroy the prop? It just doesn't. I think I've broken like one prop belly landing a plane ever. And I've broken hundreds of props on perfectly perfect tricycle planes. Not even tail draggers that can flip over. I'm talking about tricycles. So at the end of the day, this plane is gonna do it for you. If you even remotely like this plane, the looks of it, the feel, get it. You'll really enjoy it. It's not an expensive thing. It's not a huge, deep investment. And it flies on 3S 2200. It's not an expensive battery to get this thing energized. But just keep in mind, you might want the extension cable. So either get one or find one. We do have links to a lot of supplies, but we don't have every single supply on Brian Phillips RC. So if you're trying to find something, you want to support Brian Phillips RC, you're not sure how to do it, you can follow our main Amazon link if you got to find something weird like that, one-off. Or you can go to Hobby King, or you can go to FMS, or you can go to Spectrum, you can go to Horizon Hobby, you can go to one of our other partners, and there are a lot of them. But at the end of the day, this plane is a very good plane. It is not a project plane, and it is made by Hobby King via Durafly, okay? That is something that we couldn't say 10 years ago, because probably 3/4 of the planes that we got, even the Durafly and Avios stuff that we were getting back then, was still basically project planes. They were really heavy, they were really wonky to put together, and they almost never had enough support in the wings. They were too wiggly, or they were too hard to see, or they were too fast, and they just weren't getting it right. But I got to tell you something. I think that they have a good team that's working at Hobby King right now because they're cleaning things up. It's not just because they're working with us. In fact, they were kind of cleaning things up a little bit before we started working with them. And so we were excited to be brought back into the fold. So thanks, Hobby King, for trusting Brian Phillips RC. This is an awesome experience. I really enjoyed it. And this is on the tail of another really good plane.
Yeah.
And I mean, you guys don't realize this, but these are within like hours of each other. Okay. So at the end of the day, is one better than the other? They're not really even comparable. So I'm not even going to mention it. But the truth is we also run our videos evergreen. So that means that when we publish the content, if it's good enough to publish once, it stays content for you guys to enjoy. How does that help you? You can go back and find things that are discontinued and learn about them. So if you buy it at a swap meet or you buy it at a hobby shop and it's been discontinued, you can still get help here. Okay? That's real, genuine help. Also, if you ever want a manual for a plane, click on the link like you're gonna buy the plane. You don't have to buy it. Scroll down, find this, the extra information, and you can find it right there. So you don't have to go search for them. A lot of the websites that we work with, let's just be honest, suck, bad. Not Hobby King, but a few of them are terrible. And a few of them used to be really good, and now they're really terrible. But at the end of the day, if you don't want to search and you don't want to figure out how to do it, just go to Brian Phillips RC and find it. Find the plane, follow the link like you're going to buy the plane, and you can find all that supplemental stuff. Okay. Anything else I need to add? Oh, other ways to support us. You want to support us, but you don't want to buy this plane because the wife is threatening to leave you or bury you in the backyard somewhere. I totally get it. Been there, done that. You can support us 4 different ways. Probably the easiest, obviously, watch, smash the like button, click the bell for notifications when you do subscribe so you get notified of new content. But if you want to support us directly financially, but you don't want to buy this from the links in the video description below, which is the second easiest way, we have monthly members on YouTube as well as super thanks. And if you want to do monthly membership, but you don't like the YouTube thing, you can do it on Patreon as well as one-time donations on PayPal. Just so you know the fee structure, 30% goes to YouTube. For super thanks, 30% goes to YouTube for members, and about 18% for Patreon goes to Patreon, which is just ludicrous. Unless you're overseas, and it's worse. And then PayPal, since we're friends and family and no refunds, it basically is no fees, unless you're overseas. So I tell you that because I understand these things. This is the sort of thing that motivates me. It's important to me because when I support somebody, I want to know that it's actually supporting them and not just paying some bloated overkill bureaucracy or whatever. That being said, this is awesome. I really enjoyed it. It was totally unexpected. I thought it was going to suck so bad, and yet it was so much fun. I really, really enjoyed it.
Way to sell it.
Yeah, no, I mean, seriously, when I heard about this, I thought, who cares? But then I got it in my hands and I threw it and I said, holy cow, it flies excellent. And the thing that really blows me away is the flaperons. When's the last time we done flaperons that weren't sucky?
Like forever ago.
I mean, it's very unusual. I had no idea that these things would work well. And by the way, the high dihedral, I thought it would work against it. It worked for it. It worked perfect. And by the way, good roll rate, easy setup. It's just a good plane. You'll enjoy it. Plan on a couple hours to put it together. It's not hard. Make sure you got some China glue in stock and some drinks. All right, beyond that, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. And thanks for supporting Brian Phillips RC. Obviously, as we build this aerodrome, we are working our tails off. I've been working on, if you guys really want to know, behind the, well, what am I going to say? In the weeds, inside baseball. Yeah. I've been working on trying to get some financing together so that we can get this done this year because I'm getting sick and tired of being in a construction zone.
Because your wife is threatening to bury you in the backyard?
Just like people that are ordering this.
Yes.
You know, and trying to tip the UPS guy to bring it around back.
There's no tip in the UPS guy.
So as you can see, we've got the building, it's sitting there. We've got the damn runway. This is the intersection. No, that's not grass, that's just hay. Yes, we do raise hay. We couldn't cut the hay last year because we're in a construction zone. It just didn't make sense. There was no practical way for us to do it properly. And that's a hayfield over there. And then there's a little chunk of the hayfield there that got interrupted. There's a little chunk of hayfield over there. And then the hay on the back, we did cut, but that gets taken off premises. So at the end of the day, if you've ever been on a property that's under construction, it is very difficult to tolerate, especially if you're like me and you want to keep things moving along. So directional boring, water, septic system. That's what we're waiting on right now. And it's supposed to happen this month. We're running out of days. So I got to get on it with those guys. So if you guys see a big ditch cut here or like a hole in the yard in this general proximity, that's because we're going 600 feet for water. It's super cheap though.
Yeah.
And then we're going 500 feet for electric and data. And that's super cheap too, except it's not even close. That being said, the utilities to that building will cost more than our first house. It's gonna be pretty bad. But we love this hobby and we're reinvesting 100% and then some of what we do. So if you guys are ever curious, if you ever meet me in person, I'll tell you all the specifics because I don't care. I'm like an open book. But I don't want to say it here publicly. We just love this hobby. We love airplanes. We love flying and we want you to be doing it too. So check out the links. Awesome plane. Thanks, Hobby King. Good job. Come back for more, people.